Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to NHK, a Tibetan-born man has died after setting himself on fire in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York on July 2. European and U.S. media reported that the man was rushed to a hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The International Campaign for Tibet, an NGO advocating for Tibetan human rights, stated that the man had previously fled to India as an exile before relocating to the United States. He had been actively campaigning against the Chinese government's policies in Tibet. Witnesses reported that he was carrying a Tibetan flag and papers bearing the slogan "Free Tibet" at the time of the incident. The protest occurred just after China implemented a new law on July 7 that imposes penalties for activities deemed to undermine national unity. The European Parliament and the U.S. Congress have strongly condemned this legislation, warning that it will accelerate the forced assimilation of ethnic minorities, including Tibetans and Uyghurs. According to a report by the Liberty Times, Zid sub-boss, tense anti-American sentiment flared during the state funeral of Iran's late supreme leader Ali Khamenei. The master of ceremonies, a local poet, publicly targeted U.S. President Donald Trump by asking the crowd, "Why is the biggest bastard in the world still alive?" This provocative statement prompted hundreds of thousands of attendees to chant "Death to America" and "Death to Israel." This incident marks the first time an official at a state ceremony has openly named Trump and called for his death, signaling a potential escalation in tensions. Khamenei passed away in February during an airstrike, and the funeral was delayed due to the ongoing conflict. The ceremony was also viewed as an effort to consolidate the political legitimacy of the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. The heated rhetoric comes at a sensitive time, as formal ceasefire negotiations between the U.S. and Iran remain stalled. Meanwhile, Trump recently claimed in a speech that U.S. military operations had successfully destroyed Iran's military. U.S. law enforcement continues to monitor Iranian threats against Trump, stemming from his 2020 order to assassinate Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. According to a report by Liberty Times, Shiba, a Wall Street Journal analysis reveals that Chinese President Xi Jinping is consolidating an unprecedented level of one-man rule as his plans for a fourth term take shape. Now, in his 14th year of power, Xi has intensified political purges, replacing 3 sitting Politburo members within a 6-month period and launching investigations into key ministers, military generals, and state enterprise executives. A defining aspect of Xi's strategy is his deliberate refusal to groom a successor. Although he has delegated daily administrative duties to trusted allies like Premier Li Qiang, these key figures are close to or past traditional retirement age and are not seen as viable long-term heirs. Analysts point out that by not appointing younger cadres to the Politburo Standing Committee, decision-making remains heavily centralized around Xi himself. While this strategy successfully strengthens his immediate authority, experts warn that extreme centralization reduces the regime's policy flexibility. Without a clear succession mechanism, China faces significant long-term political uncertainty, drawing historical parallels to the destabilizing leadership transitions following the deaths of Joseph Stalin and Mao Zedong. According to NHK, the funeral for Iran's former supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed in a joint U.S. and Israeli military operation, began on July 4th in Tehran, drawing massive crowds of mourners demanding revenge. Amid the rising tensions, U.S. media outlet Axios reported that former President Donald Trump stated in an interview that the U.S. and Iran have mutually agreed to temporarily suspend negotiations aimed at ending the conflict for 1 week during the funeral ceremonies. Trump noted that both sides also agreed to halt attacks against each other during this period. Meanwhile, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met with several visiting foreign dignitaries, including Russian Security Council Deputy Chairman Dmitry Medvedev, to discuss strengthening cooperation in the economic and energy sectors. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.